What's up, watchers of death metal promotion? We are Panzerkrieg 666, a death black metal hybrid from Germany, founded in 2021.
Nothing else to add. We'll kill you.
There's actually not a big background story behind it. We were looking for the most brutal name that we could find. We settled on the name Panzerkrieg first, which we found pretty funny actually, but then we realized the band name had been taken already. So we pretty much just added the 666 for extra evil brutality.
Yeah, from time to time, we experienced that some people labeled us as a Nazi band, but of course, yeah. You will listen to this interview and you will come to your own conclusion. And of course, I think it's quite obvious that we are not a Nazi band. Yeah, we just focus on war themes, history, stuff like that, and I think it fits quite well to the sound. And of course, it's a little bit provocative, but hey, we're playing like death metal.
Yeah, but indeed, sometimes people think because of the band name, etc. But that's why we also have the disclaimer in the booklet that we are not a Nazi band. And yeah, everybody who has a IQ above room temperature should be able to realize that's just bullshit. Well, actually, the release of the Westerweiterung EP has already been like 1 year ago. Right now, we just released our new EP, Day of Genocide, last month on April 20. So it's been quite a while since we actually wrote the songs for Westerweiterung. There's no special story behind it. As usual, I start with guitar riffs and then record bass and also drums to it, and then Sebastian comes in and writes the lyrics to that, so it's simple as that. Songwriting is my part to do, and then he's doing all the vocal patterns and also the lyrics. No big secret or big process behind it, really.
You can say, when we're done with the creative part, writing the music, writing the lyrics, recording the stuff, mixing, mastering. Of course, after that, we are discussing the artworks and the symbolism we use. So, yeah, I always keep telling the story. We're just a good team, and yeah, we just figure it out during the creative process, the way we're heading. Like I said, we focus mainly on war themes or historical topics. So the first track Wüstenfuchs, is indeed about the German General Erwin Rommel during World War II. But yeah, of course, it's not a glorification. It's just a reflection how, yeah, history developed in his case.
And also we have the title track of the EP, which is called Day of Genocide, and is dealing with the Columbine massacre from 1999 that happened in Littleton, Colorado, which is quite an interesting topic as far as the psychology behind it, of the two gunmen, etc. So that's what we chose as the title track, and also based the artwork of the EP around. So if you have seen the EP, you will obviously know what the cover artwork is.
And for example, the track Burn the Skies is actually influenced by the Hollywood movie Oppenheimer. So it's about the history of the construction of nuclear warheads, and yeah, it's quite a dystopical topic. So we think that's also a topic which fits quite well to our musical scenario.
Well, as I said in the last question, the title track deals with the Columbine massacre, and if you look at the cover artwork, that's probably the most famous picture you can find. Probably if you type in Columbine massacre, you will probably find it under the first few results, which is basically like how do you say, the surveillance camera footage, and it was also the cover of the Time magazine cover in late 1999. So that photo is indeed very famous and very interesting to look at. So that's why we choose to use this as our cover artwork.
Yeah, we got in contact to a guy who owns a record store in a city called Krefeld, which is quite close to our location. And with his help, we got in contact to the Red Covenant guy, which is a really nice and helpful guy. And he provided us some tapes for each release. He's also a helping hand at our live shows. He often did the merchandise for us at shows. So yeah, we are really thankful, and we really appreciate his support.
Well, in my opinion, you don't really need a label behind you nowadays, especially as a small band. You can distribute your whole music catalog worldwide with Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, also Bandcamp, which we use a lot, and send our orders to Japan, USA, England, etc. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a label that supports bands like us, but it's kind of unrealistic for an underground band our size. So I think nowadays it's not really needed anymore, because you can pretty much do everything on yourself and also have full control over everything.
Indeed. In our past, when we had our other bands and we wanted to release our music, we had some really bad experiences with small labels. So this is maybe the main reason, why we are in control on our music, in its entirely.
Well, I probably first got into death metal in the 90s, and probably got to it through watching the German music channel Viva. They had a show called Metalla, and there I came into contact the first time with bands like Carcass, Gorefest, Morbid Angel, Vader, stuff like that. So that was really my entry into the whole death metal genre, and then it started from there. Bought CDs or borrowed CDs from friends, started going to shows, and eventually started our own first bands at the end of the 90s.
Maybe we can add that it was a time you also bought some print magazines, for instance, German Rock Hard magazine, Legacy, stuff like this. They also always had a sampler CD for every print magazine edition, so this was a good opportunity to get in touch with new music. For instance, as an underground band, it's quite difficult to find your audience, to reach out to some specific audiences, because like Chris always says, for instance, Spotify provides 100,000 songs each day, and it has absolutely nothing to do with quality. So it's a blessing, but also a curse at the same time. You can release music very easily nowadays, but you have to do that's our philosophy. You have to do constant promotion to get even recognized.
I cannot really think of any unforgettable fails, just like minor technical stuff that you cannot correctly hear your click, or you cannot hear the vocals or guitar or whatever. So nothing too concerning, but annoying anyways, but nothing major mistakes happened so far.
Yeah, sometimes accidentally I switch off the microphone.
Well, I'm not a big movie kind of guy, so I don't really care about new movies that are coming out. So I'm more like more into the old school movies. Actually, the last movie I saw in the cinema was like a replay of the Schwarzenegger classic Red Heat, which I enjoyed very much because I saw that already when I was young and was great on TV, I have to add, and it was great to see that again on the big screen in the cinema. So I don't really pay attention to any new movies coming out. The same actually with music, because at least not in the extreme metal genre, because we've been listening to that kind of music for easily 30 years now. So there's nothing interesting coming out anymore, in my opinion. Everything has been done already a lot of times.
There's a lot of, I would say, superficial stuff coming out. Not into it, yeah. But sometimes, yeah, a few gems are released. For example, we both like the movie Oppenheimer because of its topic. For example, a few days ago, I watched a movie Conclave about the election of a new pope, which was also very interesting. So that's the stuff, for example, I'm into.
Personally, I don't give a fuck at all because I'm not really following the death metal scene anymore. We have our band that we focus on. We have another death thrash band that we play in that we focus on. So I'm pretty much not looking left and right, and especially don't really pay attention to any new albums. Sometimes I'm listening to the old school stuff still, but new stuff, no, not really care.
Yeah, you can also add all musicians in Panzerkrieg 666. Also, our drummer has a really open-minded taste in music, and I think in general you can say we are all very open-minded concerning music. So there are a lot of different genre we're also interested in, and I think that's that sometimes I think you can recognize if you take a closer look at the different tastes of the musicians. I think musicians are sometimes much more open-minded, maybe because of getting some other influences than just the consumer view, I would say.
Well, I don't pay much attention to the death metal scene in North Rhine-Westphalia or Germany in general, but you can say we have quite a lot of underground bands playing here. We have a lot of shows. Also, all the big bands are coming either through our city or they play in the Ruhr area, where always a lot of concerts are happening. But in general, you can say the death metal scene is quite complex with a lot of bands here, as well as probably the black metal scene. My all-time favorite death metal album is probably Hard Work by Carcass, because it's been one of the first death metal albums that I was exposed to, and really loved that album because of the guitar tone, because of the guitar playing, just everything in general. The production was great, so I really enjoyed that. So that's probably my favorite album of all time if I really have to choose a death metal album.
Maybe I would pick some old Morbid Angel and Napalm Death stuff, because in my opinion it was at that stage very groundbreaking.
Well, we will probably just keep on doing what we've been doing the last 3 years. So since 2022, we've been releasing an EP annually. So we released our 4th EP, Day of Genocide, last month. So we released 2022, 23, 24, 25. Maybe we will get around to do a 26 release also, hopefully. And besides that, we will just continue promoting our band, play concerts, do merch, do interviews for death metal promotion, etc.
We will also produce some new shirts in the near future. We have some new motifs, and we're going to sell more shirts, and we're really looking forward to offer some new stuff.
Thank you very much for the support. It was a pleasure to do this interview for Death Metal Promotion. Be sure to check out our newest release, Day of Genocide. You can find it pretty much everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, or you can just go to our homepage www.panzerkrieg666.de, and there you will be able to find all the relevant links to all streaming platforms, YouTube, Bandcamp, etc. Thank you.
Especially check out our Bandcamp site. That's the place to be. Thank you very much for your support.